Sam, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are we live? We're live.
We are live. We're here. We're live.
We're
I'm going to
here.
try to share this out one more time before we actually jump into anything.
Hell yeah. Yep. Same. I've got my notes all pulled up. It's going to be fun.
Well, for people who are tuning in, hello, John Runyon. We know you're watching, buddy. We're going to be talking about the 2023 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards,
Yes.
which just finished about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went longer than they typically do. I gave Casey some bad info because usually they clock in at 60 minutes or less. And I guess they decided to go 90 minutes this year. So,
Hey, that's
worth
how
it.
it goes.
It was a fun ceremony. Good celebration of horror. I don't know. It's
There
fun.
we go. All right, I shared it out. So hopefully some people will be hopping on here. For people who are hopping on and did watch the 2023 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, start dropping some comments on your thoughts on this year's festivities. The biggest winners of the night, the overall presentation of the awards. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, both Sam and I watched this on Shudder. Sam, first of all, did you watch the pre-show at all?
Yes, I did. I didn't make it right away to the pre-show, but I did start the pre-show a couple minutes in. Fun red carpet vibe. Yeah. How about you? Did you make it to the pre-show?
Yeah, I watched all of the pre-show. It was a fun pre-show. It's kind of what you expect from previous years. It's kind of that same format. It's nice to know who's going to be there in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Presenting the awards. It's always nice to hear. And even Adrian King, who presented the best lead performance, it was kind of nice to see them pay respect to her and kind of what she has done for the genre for so many years, being there in person.
Yeah.
And she talked a little bit about Crystal Lake, which was nice to have a nice little
tease of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what I love about the Chainsaw Awards every year, man, is they're a celebration of horror, not just from the year before, but just in general. You know, the presenters this year were great. They ranged from like people who are just new to the community to scream queens like Adrian King and Barbara Crampton and Kelly Maroney, and just some really cool faces that were fun to see.
Yeah, it's always nice to see who's just part of the festivities for the evening. Sam, let's jump into these awards. We're not going to be as long as the actual show. We'll be relatively quick with our kind of discussion on these.
It's a Sunday night and we both have day jobs.
So. It's a Sunday night. We both have day jobs. The show already went 30 minutes longer than we thought, so we'll be quick. But maybe let's start. I want to start with this new award that I didn't know about that they were doing.
The Eye on the Future Award or the Amity Award?
Well, we'll talk about both. Obviously, the Amityville Award I want to talk about first. That's the most important one. Amityville in space was robbed.
Yeah, totally. I didn't watch any.
I didn't watch any of these. I want to now. I hadn't heard of the winner of the award for best Amityville movie was Amityville Christmas Vacation, which I didn't know existed until these awards.
Me either.
And now I really want to watch it. I had heard of the space one.
Yep. Because the funny and I love how excuse me, sorry. I love how tongue in cheek that they were in. Amityville Karen watch party.
Amityville Karen watch party, yeah. Amityville marathon sometime. We need to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love the inside joke of the Amityville movies being, Amityville name is just public domain. You can slap Amityville on any movie, and
the fact that there's enough to have at least 5 movies in that category for 1 year is hilarious.
Yeah,
I hope they bring that back every year.
Yeah, I hope people keep making Amityville movies just so they can keep doing it. Yeah.
But the other new award, it's the editorial eyeball on the future award. I think they just called it the eyeball award for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
They gave it to 3 people this year. Lauren Lavera from Terrifier 2, obviously
Yes.
has like become an instant like all-timer. Final Girl, Emily
Yep.
Bennett and Justin Brooks, Alone with You, filmmakers. I hadn't heard of the film. Had you?
I had heard of it. I have not watched it yet, but I had to look it up because I was like, oh, gosh, for some reason those names sound familiar. And I remember hearing about it earlier in this year. I think that movie really flew under the radar. But it does have Barbara Crampton in it, which I think is
Okay.
why I initially maybe caught on to it.
And
But
Justin was wearing a Reanimator shirt, so I'm
yeah,
already a fan of him.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's cool that it's cool that that award they gave it to a couple of people that have like bigger releases, but then I thought it was really cool that they threw it to a smaller release as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Lauren Lavera is very deserving of it. Like that's so cool. But like everybody's seen Terrifier 2 and everybody's seen The Black Phone. And you know, like Alone with You is that movie kind of sandwiched between those two nominees where people maybe haven't seen it. Like not as many people might have seen it. And it's cool that
Us being
yeah,
examples of
us
that.
being
Yeah.
examples of it. And so now that's on how many people's watch lists. I love that Fangoria does stuff like
Mhm.
that. It's really cool.
The
Really
last
cool.
one was Mason Thames from The Black Phone, also well
Yeah.
deserving. Big night for Black Phone.
Yeah. It took home what much more than I expected, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I guess, how many other people love that movie as much as I do.
Some other awards that it took home: Best Screenplay
Yep.
for C. Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson. What movie are they shooting? I want to know that
That's
more
what
than
I want to know
anything.
too.
I'm sure it's been out there. Are,
Probably.
are they
It's
doing Are they doing a King movie?
they were at one point developing a King adaptation,
Okay,
so
I
maybe that's
wonder
what
if
it
it's
is.
that.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Okay,
I
speculate or someone let us know
Yep.
what's Scott Derrickson and Cargill are doing.
And the one I was really hoping it would win Best Supporting Performance for Madeline McGraw. She's just I know you say Ethan Hawke's the best part of
I
that
predicted
movie.
hands down Ethan Hawke, and I was pleasantly
No,
surprised. I think Hawke is the best in that movie, but I'm glad Black Phone
yeah.
got the win in that award period.
To me, McGraw is the one that like she's the MVP of that movie, and I was so excited to see her win. She just seemed like very happy to be there.
Yeah.
I just yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, Andy. I love the Black Phone, and then I went online, and it seemed like everybody was a little more lukewarm on it than I was, and now it's winning Fango Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah, I don't know where the hate for that movie came from.
Yeah,
Was it
it
because like
honestly
people
one of
weren't
my
expecting
favorite.
like the supernatural part? I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, we went to that one in the theater together, and right
Mhm.
out of the movie theater, I told you I was like, "That's in my top 5 of the year," and it's staying there, and
Yeah.
it did. It's tremendous. I love that movie. So,
Is
yeah,
that
I
all
was glad
for
to see
Black
that.
Phone? Yeah.
Looking at yeah,
Oh,
I
well,
think that's
obviously it won the big one of the night. It won best wide release movie
yes,
too, which I
best
was
wide
also
release.
pretty surprised by because even watching the pre-show, there was a lot of talk of Barbarian. And
Yes.
I thought Barbarian was gonna come in and just win that. Barbarian,
Yeah.
no wins for the from the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards this year.
That one
I'm kind of
shocked
surprised.
me. Because I mean, well, I've talked about it on the podcast a little bit where like that movie I respect it more than I like it. Like it wasn't for me. But
I think we're you and I are about in the same boat for Barbarian.
yeah, like it's not
Liked it,
entirely
didn't
my
love it.
yeah, it's just not entirely my thing.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I think Zach Krager is a very interesting voice in horror right now. I
Mhm.
can't wait to see what he does next. But I was really expecting Barbarian to take home some awards tonight, and I'm surprised that it didn't.
Especially since it's kind of the opposite of Black Phone, where
Yeah,
horror fans are like, "Oh my god, Barbarian,
yeah,
love it!
yeah.
It's a crazy bonkers movie," which it is.
It is. Yeah. I felt like I was the odd man out because it was not on my top 10 list. And I feel like everybody else had Barbarian at
Yeah.
least somewhere in their top 10.
I don't think it was in mine either.
I don't think it was in yours either. But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. It was interesting to see something that I thought was going to sweep, just not get anything really.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But I think that movie's already won in the public eye anyways. Like, it's a massive hit. People love it. It's getting a sequel. Zach Krager's making millions with like Paramount's First Look now. So or whatever, Warner Brothers First Look. He's got some First Look deal with like a big studio now. So I don't think Krager's hurting for anything.
Mm-hmm. What was the one Paramount sponsored? Maybe we could, I'm trying to transition to that, but was it the limited release? No, it was streaming release, right?
Yeah, I think it was streaming release. Did you think it was funny that half of the horror movies they boasted about on Paramount aren't available on Paramount Plus right now?
Is that true? They weren't talking about Paramount. It wasn't a Paramount Plus.
It was a DVD thing. Yeah, it was like, buy these on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. But
and Paramount is launching the Paramount Scares, like, kind of subdivision of Paramount.
Yep. So
because of Smile, right? Yeah,
because Smile took off.
Because Smile made a ton of money.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, oh my god, horror movies make money.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, from the studio who released Friday the 13th 40 years ago?
Yeah. Other movies that really swept, that didn't necessarily surprise me, were Nope and Prey. I feel like those were both big names tonight.
Yeah. Prey was kind of a big standout for me.
Yeah.
Especially winning, it won Best Streaming Premiere, which we talked about.
Yep.
Which is pretty big.
It won Costume, which is big, especially going up against, like, some of the stuff that it was going up against is like, I was not sure who was going to win the costuming, because that was a pretty stacked category. I was happy to see Prey win that. And I loved that it won creature effects, because
it had my vote in that one. Costume, I was hoping Rob Zombie's The Munsters would sneak.
That was kind of my dark horse pick too. I was hoping, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Prey.
I was really excited in their acceptance speech of Best Creature Effects that they said that they are working with that Alex Gillis said they were working on more stuff with Dane DeLaGrigio, who played the Predator and Prey. He said something along the lines of, like, this was his first time as a man in a suit, and you're going to see a lot more of him in the future. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, make him the next Doug Jones, because he's so good in Prey. He's my favorite Predator, easily. So
hey, Andy, the Munsters had great costumes.
It did. You can slag on the Munsters for a lot of things, but the costuming is not one of them.
And I know for a fact, Andy, you did not hate the Munsters.
That is true. I recall seeing a 3-star Letterboxd rating.
Which is probably the most accurate rating of, like, any movie anyone could ever rate it.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
One that, again, talking about something that kind of shocked me, is I didn't watch any of these beforehand, and I don't know if they're on Shudder or not. The Best Shorts.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any of these.
Close Your Eyes was the winner, but showing the quick, like, 3 to 5 second clips of each of these, I'm like, I want to watch every single one of those.
They all looked really good. The thing that I really liked about the shorts is, like, the guy who videoed in to accept the award, like, that was clearly just a dude in an apartment who made a movie with his friends and won a freaking Chainsaw Award. And that, to me, was one of the coolest moments of the night. I'm like, that's just a dude. He could have been from anywhere.
Yeah.
He could have been, he literally could have been filming that from, like, nowhere, Nebraska, like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Guts. Andy said Guts was great. Andy, do you know if these are on Shudder? Or where'd you watch Guts? Let us know.
Yeah.
Guts is the one that was like, oh my god, I need to watch
Yeah,
that
it
as soon as they showed the clip.
looked goopy. Yeah.
Another person who accepted an award from probably their apartment somewhere, Jordan freaking Peele.
Yes.
Jordan Peele's the best. He had my favorite speech
Yeah.
accepting the award.
Yep. Yep. And his disturbed nature of the chainsaw going through the head. I'm like, dude, you put so much more fucked up shit in your movies than. Oh, sorry, we're live. I shouldn't swear.
You're good.
It's after hours. If it's 9:47, if your kids are watching this,
It's okay.
no. The one that surprised me, maybe not because I didn't expect it to win, but because I did not realize this was a first time directorial debut, was I'm so excited to see Chloe Okona win for Watcher on
Yeah.
first feature. Watcher was like a dark horse. I had already made my top 10 list, but it was on both you and Blake's when we shared. And so I was like, oh shit, I should watch Watcher. And I ended up putting it on that week. And oh my god, if I would have watched it before my top 10 list, it might have been top 3. Watcher rules. Watcher is on Shudder. If you guys haven't seen that one, check it out.
Was Barbarian not Zach Krager's first movie?
I don't know. I think if it was, I wonder if maybe, because I think it was, but I think maybe because it was nominated in so many other categories, they didn't have it. I don't know.
I don't know either. Because I was like, I couldn't remember who was actually nominated, and I was, before they said, hey, here's the nominees. I was like, all right, Barbarian, this one's gonna win. Maybe it's not his first. Maybe he made something smaller beforehand. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll let you look that up quick. Andy said that either Fangoria or Bloody Disgusting has the shorts.
Okay. No, it is. Oh no, so he did a movie back in 2011 called The Civil War on Drugs.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
So technically, and he directed a booby oh wait, no, that's writer. Where's the director? God dang it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Come on, IMDb.
Come on, IMDb. Director.
Their new mobile setup I hate on IMDb. If anyone from IMDb is listening to this, please revert back because I don't like your current setup on mobile.
And no, he did direct Miss March, which is a booby comedy from 2009 that's not very good.
Okay.
I watched it in the basement of a recording studio while I was recording an album one time.
Huh. Interesting.
Because I found it in like a $3 DVD bin.
You're like, this guy's never going anywhere.
And now look at him. He's up for a Fangoria Chainsaw Award.
Yeah. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Watcher winning first feature. I loved that movie. So happy that movie won.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's kind of in general the whole night. There wasn't anything that I was like super bummed about. Okay, never mind. There was one. Here's the thing. I don't like slagging on things. But also this is like a huge budget thing by one of the biggest studios in the world, so I don't care. Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Winning TV. I'm kind of like, okay, like, yes, you're horror, but like
the fact that no one was there or
no one's there,
to
no
get
one
it
cares.
or did a video. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I'll
okay,
agree with that one. Yeah.
That's an issue for me in one hand. And it was something that kind of bothered me when Mia Goth won Best Actress too. But I'm like, whatever. She's probably filming Maxine right now. And I get that. But like, I don't know. Chucky. Like, what were the other ones in that?
Yellow Jackets. Chucky.
Yellow Jackets.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
Cabinet of Curiosities. And then there was
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows. All 4 of those. Easily better than Stranger Things 4. Easily. Like, and I loved Stranger Things 4, but I'm like, no. Those are they're more squarely in the horror community, in the like, especially in like the Fangoria community, I feel like. Stranger Things feels like it's off in its own world.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's a part of the like core horror community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, that bothered me a little bit, but otherwise, but it's also fan voted, so whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, more popular shows are going to end up getting it. I'm
Hmm.
just happy Yellow Jackets was nominated because it's legit one of the best shows I've ever seen, and I had my fingers crossed for it. I knew it wasn't going to win it. If it did, it was by a slim margin, but yeah, yeah.
I was pulling for Cabinet of Curiosity, so I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
you always gotta pull for GDT though, right?
I know.
I mean, dude's a legend. So
Another one sticking kind of the TV realm, best nonfiction series or miniseries, 101 scariest movie moments of all time.
yeah,
Yeah, I loved that series. I thought that was so much
it's
fun.
it's such a fun series. Yeah, yeah. I was glad that one won. That
I also loved Cursed Films, and I was rooting for that one as well because it is a very weird way to look at. It's not even dissecting a single movie. It's like dissecting the like I don't know aura around it. Is that maybe that's
yeah,
one of the best ways to describe it? Is
yeah,
not necessarily dissecting the movie. It's like the production of these movies and what makes them quote unquote cursed.
cursed. Yeah, I really like cursed films. I have not watched the second season. I think
It's
I've only
great.
watched the first. Um, yes, Andy, Queer for Fear is tremendous.
I need to
I
watch that and
Yeah.
the In Search of Darkness 3. Yeah,
Yep, yep. I have not watched In Search of
which is
Darkness
in the
3
that
yet.
one's in the documentary, right?
That one was
Yeah.
documentary, which the Pennywise documentary that won is not on Screenbox yet, but I think it's coming at the beginning of June.
I think it's on there.
Oh, is it on there? What's the one that's coming in June then?
I'm
There's
not
this
sure. I think it's on there already.
Okay, so it's on there already.
I know it's streaming for sure. I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
already on
It's
Screenbox.
on Screenbox then. So
Hmm.
Screenbox has a different documentary that's coming in the beginning of June
Okay.
that I'm really excited about. And now I can't remember what it is. I'll have to get on Screenbox to figure it out, I guess. Um,
I felt behind in the documentary category.
yeah, I
I haven't
felt a little bit
seen
of that too.
I haven't seen Living with Chucky. I haven't seen the story of it. Um,
Hmm.
what else was nominated?
The found footage phenomenon, which
I watched that one. It was good.
I've seen parts of that one just because Shutter TV plays it a lot.
Hmm.
And when Shutter TV plays documentaries, I just stay on them for a while because I'm like,
In Search
you
of
can,
In
yeah,
Search of Darkness 3, which I tried
yeah,
watching on Shutter when it first came out, and it like it would play like 30 seconds and it would just pause
really
and
weird.
not play any further.
Okay. Yeah, so documentary I wasn't the most well versed in, but I did love Living with Chucky. Admittedly, that's probably because I'm a massive Chucky head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty, but I'm excited to see something that's, I mean, something that revolves around the great Tim Curry
Hmm.
getting its due and getting something because that we kind of talked about it on our episode with Doug. Shameless plug. Go check out our Evil Dead episode with Doug Morano. Uh, we talked
And
about
Doug turned us on, at least me, onto
yeah onto Twin Temple,
yes,
who
and
were there tonight.
I looked them up as we were watching the show, and I played one of their songs. I'm like, this is
It's
amazing. We need to keep
it's
listening to
fun.
this.
Yes. Oh yeah. 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 Check out our episode with Doug. It's cool shit. He turned us on to Twin Temple, who were there. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun.
I'm gonna throw out a couple other ones quick because I don't think
Yes.
you and I will probably have a lot to say on. One of these, maybe two of these. We sort of touched on Nope already with Jordan Peele winning Best Director. Super
Yep.
cool. Glad that won. One of my favorite movies of the year. Period. Nope.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It won Best Cinematography as well for Hoyt van Hoytema.
Yes. Who actually did like this is a guy who's been nominated for like 3 different Oscars, and
Yeah.
he did a video for Fangoria. I was like, hell yeah.
Jordan
That's
Peele has
awesome.
won an Oscar,
Yeah.
right?
Exact. Yes. Yes. But like Hoyt isn't necessarily synonymous with the horror community. So I was really happy. Like a lot of times when those people win, you just don't see, like they just don't
Yeah.
bother. And so I was really excited that Hoyt actually showed up and yeah, he was so deserving. The cinematography in Nope is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Yeah, I love it.
Best lead performance. Mia Goth, Pearl.
Yeah,
I think that was kind of like
that was
maybe
a
the most,
no-brainer.
one of the most like, hey, yeah, that one's gonna win. Best kill is another one we'll talk about pretty soon.
Yep.
But
yep.
yeah, best lead, Mia Goth. I think there was no question that it was hers.
I mean, it should have been her Oscar this year, to be honest. Like,
that's why we do. That's why they do the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Exactly. So yeah, Goth was totally deserving. Pearl was incredible. Yeah, I was excited to see, because like X and Pearl didn't get much. That's it. That's all I got was lead performance for Pearl. But both X and Pearl showed up in multiple categories as far as nominees go, and both of those were movies that I really enjoyed both of those movies last year. Ty West. I can't believe we got 2 Ty West movies in a year, and both of them were like bangers. So yeah.
Best international, Speak No Evil.
Yep, that one didn't surprise me. That one had a lot of buzz going around it when it released.
Yeah, we've talked on our podcast about. Neither of us. I haven't seen it. Have you?
No, so I've seen the first part of it. I turned it off because I kind of had a feeling where it was going, and then I spoiled it for myself, and I haven't been able to go back to it because I'm like, oh god, it's like a dark ending. So, but I do want to finish it sometime because what I saw of it was very good, nice tension building. You just ever have one of those times where you start a movie, you're like, this is too much for me right now. Yeah.
not the right mood. Yeah.
So,
best score, which I was surprised by, and maybe I shouldn't have been because it is John Carpenter.
Yeah.
For Halloween Ends.
It wasn't surprising.
John is also not paid by the hour to accept his awards either.
His video was the best because it was just him and his son, and they essentially just both said thank you, and that was the video. And I love it. I was like, I looked at Maria, I'm like, that's the most John Carpenter acceptance speech ever.
I'm surprised like there wasn't like a TV with NBA playing on it in the background. That would have made it more John Carpenter.
Or like just like Call of Duty paused in the background with a bong on the bedside table or something like that. Yeah. John Carpenter is the coolest.
Sam.
Yes.
Let's see how many we have. I'm going to try to count how many we have left because I think it's only one movie, and it's 3 awards that it won for. If my
which one are we talking? Is it Prey?
We are talking Terrifier.
Terrifier 2.
Which won pretty much every award I thought it was going to win. It won Best Limited Release, Best Makeup Effects, and along with that, it won Best Kill. I don't know what else you're writing in for Best Kill in 2022.
Yeah,
that's the scene of horror in 2022.
For me, I think my favorite kill is still the alligator with Bobby Lynn in X. I love that scene. I think it's great.
It's great.
It's
not the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2.
Yeah, but you know how I feel. Like, oh god, that scene makes me sick almost.
Yeah.
And I get it. That's what people like about it. But like, I don't know. That scene is so much.
I'm gonna talk about that scene because we're not going to talk about it in depth on a future podcast, at least not in the near future. So that scene, watching it in theaters, I had heard like rumblings beforehand of like the bedroom scene.
Yep.
Okay, so we're watching it. There's us in the back row, and there's probably, I think it's only like 2 or 3 other couples in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like Saturday at like 4:00 in the afternoon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And that scene starts to happen. And slight spoilers, you've watched the scene.
I've watched the scene,
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So Art is doing his thing, runs out of the room, grabs bleach, pours it, runs out of the room, grabs salt. Every time he leaves and comes back, I'm losing my mind in the back.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the wildest, sort of funniest thing I've ever seen. And we're losing it.
Yep.
Everyone else in the theater is silent. And I'm like, how can you be silent? Even if you're not laughing at it, how are you not reacting to it? Was my thing of like, they just sat there
they're just desensitized, I guess.
I don't
Ew.
understand it.
You were in a theater with a bunch of psychopaths because there's no way you can watch that scene and not react in some kind of way. Yeah, that's insane, dude. Like I
watched the movie with actual serial killers.
I was like screaming at my phone while I watched it. I was like, ew, don't do that. Stop. What are you doing?
Stop.
I was Tom Atkins at the end of Halloween 3.
Andy agrees. Terrifier 2, the scene.
I will say, every person that accepted award on behalf of Terrifier 2, I was like, damn it, I really need to see this movie because these people are all cool as shit. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna be my thing, but I do want to actually give it a shot, give it a watch. And I don't know. We might talk about it on a podcast later on. We don't know.
Yeah, we will. We will talk about it. Well, when that happens,
we will. Because curiosity will eventually get the best of me.
Yeah. Hey, we got to talk about art on Screams from the Basement every once in a while.
Hell yeah. Art's an icon. Art's an icon, and even if I don't care for his...
He's an A-tier slasher villain.
He's an A-tier slasher
villain. We put him there.
We did. And I have no regrets on that.
No regrets.
Actually, I don't have any regrets on that list, I don't think.
Andy wants to guest on our Terrifier 1 and 2.
Yes.
Thank God we're not doing that like this week then, Andy. Just a full behind the scenes.
Yeah. We that was almost our episode this week.
Yeah. Full disclosure. This is it. We're done talking about the Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah.
I'm ready for bed, but before that,
yes,
we're going to plug this week's podcast. 2 podcasts coming out this week, actually. First up, we're going to let you all know we have a special interview from the writer, director, producer of the Shudder original film Influencer, Curtis David Harder, who also made the Spiral film for Shudder, and he's produced a bunch of Shudder original films as well.
Yep. Including Superhost, which we both liked.
Yeah. Superhost, VHS 94?
94, yep.
And he is producing Brandon Cronenberg's, not Brandon Cronenberg, Brandon Christensen's next film as well. So that'll be dropping tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And then our episode Friday.
I lost our Scream 6 bet.
Is my pick. My pick, because I picked both of the killers, two out of the 4 killers of Scream 6 correctly. I was going to pick Terrifier 1 and 2. And I'm glad we're saving that for later, because Andy, you are definitely coming on for that. We're gonna convert Sam to the Terrifier 1 and 2.
Well, cult. You'll try.
We'll try. But maybe worse for this next episode. Boys and girls, it's a full moon episode.
It's a full moon episode.
We're talking
Demonic Toys, which I've already watched.
Yep. And Head of the Family,
which I will watch tomorrow.
The full moon episode, ladies and gentlemen. Brace yourselves.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun episode. Plus, I've watched a lot of fun stuff in like my recent watches too. So I feel like this episode, like the episode that drops Friday, is going to be a lot of fun, guys.
I have 2, but a lot of it is also full moon. So it's going to be a very full moon episode.
Yeah. I was about to say my stuff will be pretty schlocky, I think. So
yes, it's a schlock episode.
I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed the 2023 Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. We did. Thought it was fun. David Desmalchian and Peaches Christ were great hosts. I love all the guests that they brought in. I wish they finished their slasher storyline that they set up at the beginning of the show and didn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe next year. Maybe.
Yeah, there's always a sequel.
There's always the sequel. All right. Well,
All right.
should
Thanks for
we
tuning in, y'all.
wrap this up?
Yeah.
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 Again, podcast dropping tomorrow morning. Interview with Curtis David Harder, and then a new episode of Screams from the Basement coming out Friday.
Yeah. Big
So,
week for Screams.
Big week for Screams. So thank you all for listening and watching and tuning in. All that stuff. I'm going to hit the end broadcast like right now.
All right.
Is that cool?
Later, guys.
Should I
cool.
do it?
Should I do it? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay.